What's up, fans? Our partners here at Bet Online continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, sports developments, including this year's NBA Finals, NHL hockey conference finals, Major League Baseball, and the latest fighting news, even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online where the game starts. Not only does this Bet Online sponsor the Bossman Show, they'll sponsor you too. Get it, Bet Online today because the Boss Man said so. Back on the Bossman Show here with Southern Utah Thunderbirds head coach DeLane Fitzgerald with me on the Bossman Show. How you doing, coach, out there in Utah, man?
How you doing, boss man? I'm doing well.
I hear that, coach. Man, ask you, man, how's it feel, man? Been a long time D3 and D2 head coach to get your call up to FCS football, man. This opportunity here with the SUU, man.
Yeah, it feels good, and you're right. Myself and our staff, we paid some dues over the years working our way to this point. But excited to be here, my man. And this job's not like any of the other two jobs that we've had. The finances and the scheduling and just the general support from the city and university are a little different here.
I want to ask you, coach, just for those who don't understand the difference between D3, D2, and FCS, what are the differences for scholarships and recruiting-wise and resources-wise for you guys from where you were to where you are now, coach, for folks who don't understand that?
Yeah, we'll start at the top. FBS, which is the ones you mostly see on TV, they've got 85 full scholarships. By NCAA rules, they can't break those scholarships up. So each year they've got 85 kids on full scholarship, and then they've got 25 walk-ons for a total of about 110 players. When you come down to FCS, which is us and North Dakota State's the most popular one right now because they've been really good. But us and Montana, North Dakota State, McNeese State, Florida A&M, some of those really, really good football schools. We've got 63 full rides. So now here's what changes for us. We're allowed to break the scholarships up. So you get 63 total full rides, but you can have 85 kids on scholarship. So, and I know the numbers don't work, but you can give 40 full rides, and then you can take those last 23 and break it up over about 40 kids. And we're still allowed the same 110 guys on the roster that the FBS are allowed. You come down to D2. D2 is allowed 36 scholarships. You can break them up any way you want to. You can give a kid $50,000 a year. You can give them $500 a year, but you can break it up and make it work any way you want to. There's no limit on the number of kids that can be on scholarship. You just can't have more than 36 equivalencies total. Now, boss man, in talking with you, the majority of Division II schools in the country do not give 36 fulls. There are some schools up in Pennsylvania giving 9 or 10 scholarships. There's some schools in West Virginia giving 9 or 10 scholarships and playing Division II football. Division III is no athletic money. You're not allowed to give any type of athletic aid. You can give need-based financial aid, and you can give merit money, which is academic scholarships, but you cannot give an athletic scholarship. And that's the way the 4 levels of the NCAA go. And then you have 100 NAIA schools playing football out there, and they're allowed to give 24. NAIA in Division II is very, very similar. They're allowed to give 24, and they can break it up in any amount they want. If I'm not mistaken, NAIA won't let you go over 70. So you can't have more than 70 kids on the active roster on scholarship.
So, yeah, Coach, that breakdown was so perfect, man, because having to be able to break it up is very important. And I know I know some of my friends who moved from D2 to D1 basketball, the coach is like, wow, after you use all 13 of these, I can't break them up anymore. It's like I could get 17 kids back in D2, but I can't do this at D1. So like you said, it's a big difference, but fans realize how it is different it is. And, we talked about off air, I was at Tennessee State when you was at UT Martin for a little before I got to Tennessee State, because I remember how it was then. Resources a little different than it was over Vanderbilt down the road from us. So a little bit different down the road. So, but it's like, I feel like, Coach, you still get seen. You still get back to the NFL, play professionally, because the Island Scout does not lie. If you have talent, the scouts will find you.
And you figure the last 10 Super Bowls, there's been more 2-star kids in the Super Bowl than there are 4- and 5-star kids coming out of high school. Yeah. You absolutely, if you're a good enough player, they will absolutely find you. There's 3 or 4 starting quarterbacks from FCS football right now. He's been forgotten about because Tom Brady won all those Super Bowls. But my alma mater is James Madison, and we were FCS when I played there. They're FCS up until this coming fall. But Charles Haley came out of James Madison. Charles Haley won 5 Super Bowls in the NFL, being an FCS player.
No doubt, man. Let me ask this, Coach, though. My father is 81 years old. He was a coach here in Atlanta, man. So his why was he want to help young men become better young men in football. Tell me, what is your why? Why did you get into coaching, and what during your time playing made you want to jump into this role as a coach, man?
Yeah, and your dad's 81, so he's probably sincere. Now these days you throw the microphone in all these faces and they start talking about how much they love the kids. Hey, let somebody take that paycheck away from them, see how much they love them kids. So your dad did it for next to no money for a lot of years and did it well. Yeah, I don't give the complete politically correct answer. Okay, here's what happened to me is my whole life all I've done is compete. So my father made my brother and I compete against each other. We competed against him. I grew up in a culture of competition. So I've always craved a competition. But Bossman, let me tell you what, my house on a Friday, Saturday night was wild because somebody was probably throwing a joystick at the other person, or somebody was firing a checkerboard across the table at the other person because they were upset about losing. So it's kind of what I come from. Well, when you get my age, how can I compete? I got to go out on the golf course with a couple of other old heads and we can hit the golf ball around. I can compete that way. But I like the competition now. Hey, Sunday through Saturday, I like the competition. I like coming off a field, throwing the film in and teeing it back up for the following week. I really love the competitive spirit and the culture of competition. Now, after that, this lifestyle has provided, a nice quality of life for my family, and I'm okay with that part too. And then here's the 2 things, and I'm not being, how you say this, I'm being completely genuine in this answer. Over the course of a adolescent male being 18 to 23 years old, if a head coach and a coaching staff is doing it right, at some point in time, you see the light bulb come on in his head. And all of a sudden, he starts to get the importance that an education is going to play in his life. And then he gets the importance of what being a good teammate is going to play in his life. And then he gets the importance of what competing in college football and in life. He understands what that's going to play. Hey, I really enjoy when the light bulb comes on for a young man. It is really, really meaningful for me. And then the last thing I'll tell you, and as I get older, this gets more and more important. I love hearing back from the guys. So almost a week never goes by when I don't hear from a young man that I coached 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Reaches back out, and sometimes it's daily, but I really enjoy talking to them. I like the wedding invitations. I like the reunions. I enjoy all that stuff. Hey, sometimes it's just a message back and forth, on social media with one of those, but I like hearing about them and how far they've come in life and what them and their wives and their kids are accomplishing. It's really, really neat.
Coach Fitzgerald, my father, I'm his only son. I'm his only child, but he tells me I have over 1,000 of sons. Yet, son, you're not the only son I have. I have thousands of sons I've raised before you and after you. So just you get to share me with other people. On Father's Day, his phone was blowing up. All his former players texting him saying, Yeah. Hey, Mr. J, we love you. We thank you, Mr. J, for all you did for Coach J, all you done for us. So seeing how my father impacted other young men in the community of Atlanta, seeing how he impacted me and how he gave me, like you said, a competitive try to compete. Because, I didn't make it in the NFL. I didn't make it professionally, but I got a radio show I've been doing for the last 13 years. So I compete in radio every day, being different every day, interviewing people like you every day, showing that I don't have to do it the way you do it everywhere else. This show's been successful doing it my way. So I compete every day on this radio show. And I tell my intern the same thing behind the glass here. Compete at this every day. We'll be great because we'll have something unique here. There's a niche. And nobody can take it away from me or anybody else who doesn't work this show. It's something we can do. We built from the ground up, grassroots to what it is today, Coach.
Yeah, I'll address a couple of that, which you said. You're right. Your father's got thousands of sons. He got a real son, and he got thousands of football sons. I've got first. So I've got 3 daughters, girls, no sons. But my wife asked me one time, she said, what do you want to do about a little boy? I said, I don't need a little boy. I said, I got 125 of them over at the school. I said, I'm fine. I got plenty of sons. No, Father's Day was last week. I probably got 24 messages. Hey, Coach, thanks. Father's Day is always a really special day for me.
I hear that, Coach. And for you, man, let me ask you this, man. What are the core values of your program? Show your young men the everyday value, being a part of a team or family. What values you want them to every day coming to work, to want to come and work out there with you guys? What do you want to bring to the building every day for your team's core values, Coach?
Yeah, accountability and punctuality are first and foremost. Accountability, punctuality, hard work, discipline, loyalty, stick-to-itiveness. People love that word, and I love that word. It's a real word now. The definition of stick-to-itiveness is dogged perseverance. Well, I never met a good football player that didn't have dogged perseverance. But stick-to-itiveness, and just how do I say this? The ability to bounce back.
Yes.
Play and quarter after quarter and day after day. And that bouncing back goes to what you and I are talking about with the competitive culture, a competitive spirit. Hey, nobody gave me that job at Southern Virginia. I had to compete for that thing. And then once I got that job at Southern Virginia, my first season there, we were 0-6. We were 0-6 and getting beat by an average of like 40 points per game. And we managed to turn that season around, turn that program around, but just the ability to bounce back and be persistent, to have a dogged perseverance and compete. Bossman, I left there and wanted the Frostburg job. I had to compete for that job. When my time was done at Frostburg and this job here, I had to compete. So I beat out 110 other applicants for this job here. Pretty proud of that fact. Now, I'm going to have to show some dogged perseverance over this fall and the next couple of falls because we've got some fixing to do here.
I hear that, Coach. I hear it in your voice, man. I see it on your face, man, the competitive juice, because you have that same kind of vibe, man. I compete for everything I do. I enjoy what I do. I give every morning, I give this radio show, man. I feel good. I'm blessed because I can be doing something. I can be punching a time clock, but I own my own radio show, my own content. I distribute my own show. I'm syndicated on my own. So I feel good every day, Coach, doing it. When I come to do the Bossman show, nobody helped me do this but myself. I did this from starting from nothing to something. So I feel every day I wake up every day, Coach, talking to guys like yourself, man. I'm blessed. I'm happy to do it.
My story is the exact same as yours with this exception. I had a lot of help now. I had a lot of help. Like, hey, a lot of men and women took an interest in me over the years and helped me get where I am. I'm very appreciative.
Now, Coach, what's funny is this. Some of the guys who I asked for help on my way up the road to do this, they see me now. Hey, man, how you doing? I see you. But when I was nothing, you didn't have time for me. You stood me up on meetings and calls. Now that I done accomplished something, you see what I built, now you want to be a part of it and want me to be the Coach is funny. And my dad says this to him. He says, you didn't bet on my son. And then he bet on himself, and look what he did. And they said, well, Mr. J, we're sorry. He said, well, nah, we're happy for you. Look what he's doing. And so my father takes so much joy in seeing what I'm doing right now, Coach. You just don't know.
As he should. Hey, people didn't. Hey, when you were giving people your vision a long time ago, people didn't see your vision. They didn't feel what. Hey, pick up what you're putting down. Yeah, mine's a little bit different. I had a lot of people believe in me. A lot of people helped along the way. Hey, more people than you and I got time to sit and name right now.
I hear that, man. I hear that, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this, brother. How's it been meeting your kids, man? Meeting these young men, showing them who you are? Because if you was my coach and you came in as the new coach, I would stay. I would feel what you're talking about because my father is the same exact way you are. You are and my father have similar personalities. I would stay and play for you. How's it been meeting your young men, showing them who you are, building that culture, showing them what this program going to be going forward, man?
Yeah, they had it. I'm not going to sit and talk about the last staff, but Bossman, when you go 1-10, you're doing a lot of things wrong. There's a lot of things wrong in the program with the culture and what was happening with the coaches and what was happening with the players. We turned over a bunch. So we started spring ball with 117 players. Only 50 of them are returning for this fall. Now, Division I, we got our players on campus June and July, so almost our entire team is here right now working out. But if we play tonight, we're going to have 50 returning players and then 60 new guys. We had to completely flip the culture. We had to completely flip the mindset, the work ethic, the ability to be persistent and to have some stick-to-itiveness. We had to fix all of that. And when you're talking about adolescent males and you start fixing things, well, in 2022, that's scoot on out the door pretty fast now.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Yeah, they're not cut like how you and I were cut, man. Let me ask kids too, man. Kind of that same vein, Coach Fitzgerald. How has the game changed in your mind since your time at James Madison to now? Because I feel like the game is more spread out, more fast-paced, less pro-style, less too tight, less I-formation pro-style offense. What's your thoughts on that, Coach?
Yeah, that is you're 100% right. All those changes have happened. That's what the NCAA wants. That they want it more spread out and more pass happy. Hey, they would like for the young man to run a flat route or an out route or a corner route, catch the ball and get out of bounds, no contact. But that's not me. It's not who we are. We're gonna line up. We're gonna line up a couple Saturdays over the next 5 years and just see who bleeds first. Now we're gonna get after them now physically. Okay, gonna be extremely fast, extremely physical. We're gonna play to the whistle and then one step. Hey, we're gonna block. We're not blocking two people. We're gonna block through them, and we're not tackling two people. We're gonna tackle through them now. But we will bring a different style to this conference in this area that they haven't seen in a while here. But what you started saying, no, you're right. Hey, the moms and dads would like for Junior not to have any bruises on him at the end of the day. And the NCAA would like that. They've tried to spread it out and soften the game quite a bit. But our football program is not going to be like that. Hey, we're going to be rough and tumble for 3 hours every Saturday.
No doubt. And you have a great area to find kids at, Coach. You know, out west there, man. Some tell the guys out west. I know Georgia gets a lot of accolades over Texas, but a lot of talent in that southern Utah area go down to Arizona, California, Nevada, up to Washington, Oregon. You know, so many talented young men out there. So talk about being able to pretty much draw a circle around your campus and find talent that can bring that fits your culture and wants to compete every day and win.
Yeah. So you do this for 775 teams this year, okay? 775 college football teams. 500 of them are located east of the Mississippi. So you've got 175 teams out here. You got all these people living out here. There's a lot of population and not a lot of colleges and universities recruiting these young men. We're going to take advantage of that. Well, we'll have some sleepers here that they've had 5, 6, 7 guys get drafted from here in the last 10 years. Well, those 5, 6, 7, none of them were recruited out of high school. So they're coming out of Phoenix and coming out of Vegas and coming out of Salt Lake and coming out of Los Angeles. Nobody's recruiting them because there's so many people in those cities and just not enough colleges and universities recruiting those areas.
I got 2 more for you, Coach. One about Atlanta, because you used to come down here and recruit. Talk about the talent in Georgia and Atlanta specifically, how the coaching is a little more higher level. You get a guy from Georgia, most likely he's going to be ready to plug and play. Because he's been coached the right way. He's got a high level of intelligence for his football IQ. So talk about the recruiting in Georgia and Atlanta specifically, Coach.
Yeah, I in Georgia for somewhere between 6 and 8 years. I forget sometimes. Mickey Matthews was my boss at James Madison when I was the D-line coach there, and he gave me the state of Georgia as my recruiting area. He gave me the state of Georgia and then Interstate 10 down in North Florida. Interstate 10 was running from Jacksonville to Tallahassee, still does. but I had that as a recruiting area. Well, I didn't understand, being a young buck, I jumped in a car, went down there, and it hit me once I got there. I got like 600 schools in my recruiting area. I could recruit here for the rest of my life and never every high school. So I narrowed it down, did a lot of Atlanta-based, the greater Atlanta area, but did a lot of recruiting there. And then here was the one, Bossman, here was the one that I learned that a lot of the Division I coaches won't do. They won't get off the interstate. They like the interstate, and they like that convenience school. I had a lot of success getting off the interstate and recruiting kids that were located 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes off of the interstate, because the Division I, the big schools wouldn't go see those kids. But had a lot of success recruiting here. Recruited a kid from Augusta that ended up helping James Madison win a national title as a safety. Turned around a couple of years later, and out of Osborne High School in Marietta, I recruited UT Martin's best ever football player, Donald Chapman, because guys they wouldn't go into his high school because it was an inner city high school. Back to your point, but they had a lot of success, a lot of good memories recruiting that greater Atlanta area. But back to your point, I thought the football in Atlanta and the greater Atlanta area was the best that I had ever seen. I thought the coaching from top to bottom and the kids were the best that I had ever seen in person, that I had ever recruited. Here's what I've learned over the years. If football is important to a family, and it's important to a young man, and it's important to an area, well, that football team is going to be really, really good. Well, when you're talking about the state of Georgia, it's important to everybody now. It's important to everybody down there. Every school had players, and they were well coached, and they cared about football. So it was good. Hey, good times. Maybe one of these days I'll get back to recruiting that area.
Yes, you can come see me. We go out to eat. So I'm going to got one more for you, Coach. When you come to Atlanta, Coach, what's your favorite spot to eat down here, man?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot now. You're putting me on the spot. I'm not a food aficionado. Wherever I'm at when I get hungry, that's where I pull off and eat. But I'll tell you, some of the mom and pops places down in South Georgia, south of Atlanta, south of Macon, some of those down there, some of that soul food down there, that was the best food, some of the best food I've eaten in my life.
Coach, you got to come to town, man. Me, you, and my father should go out, man, for lunch and, man, just chop it up, man. We'll have a blast talking about football and talking about the game we all love, man. We'll have a blast. I can see it right now, Coach.
Next time I'm in the area, I'll look you up and we'll do just that.
Well, after I get off the line here, I'm gonna give you my phone number so you can definitely say, you can text me, we can call, talk to each other. Because I talk to you for hours, man. I'm enjoying this so much. Talk to you for hours. It's so fun to talk to somebody who loves football the way I do, man.
Talk ball, and get some good food.
Yes, sir. Hey, Coach, this was real fun, man. We got to do this again real soon, man. What's up, fans? Our partners here at Bet Online continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, sports developments, including this year's NBA Finals, NHL Hockey Conference Finals, Major League Baseball, and the latest fighting news, even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online where the game starts. Not only does this Bet Online sponsor the Bossman Show, they'll sponsor you too. Bet online today because the Boss Man said so.